driving east on Canadian Freeway 402. Plus 23 Celsius, very windy today. I try to clean my windshield. All the liquid flies all over the place. So I'm pulling, this is my last load, so load number 3. Well, there might be a couple more maybe next week, but for now, once I deliver this one to the same consignee in Ajax, Ontario, I'm going home for a few days. I got lots of paperwork to deal with. My cab card is expiring in October, I think, and so they want the application to be submitted now. The cab card and my Ontario annual permit needs to be updated again. It's like 1.5 months away, the deadline, but they all want it now. And then insurance, I need to send some papers to insurance, and also I missed my greasing marker, so to speak. Like I have here mileage when I did the last oil change and grease, and on this truck I do grease every 20,000 kilometers. Oh, check this out, a couple of cool looking oversized loads, and that's all crane rental on the door, so which means that they're just hauling their own cranes. And I did one of those. But for anything bigger, my trailer is the deck is too short. Like to do something like with four axle crane, you know, you need at least 31 probably in the well. So I would need to buy an insert, 5-foot insert, and then 26 plus 5, 31. So then I can do a bigger cranes. But that insert is 13,000 US, and it adds about 3,000 pounds in weight. So for now I'm gonna wait. I'm still waiting for the reply from the financial company. I submitted the application, like for that quote. I have the quote from a trailer manufacturer here in Ontario to make me a Jeep, a flip box, and the Stinger. So now all I need is a couple of bucks from a financial company. And to put things into perspective, what these things cost, the Jeep, the flip box, and the Stinger. Oh, check this out, 3,333. So that must be either 75 ton or 80 ton, something like that. That's Equipment Express from Air Ontario, AYR. Very big company. They also have their own rigging company. So most of the time, I try to forward them some clients, you know, when I cannot do something big. But these guys, oh, we don't have any trucks. Like, where are all your trucks? Oh, we're doing a project up north. You know, these big companies, they basically, these guys are very smart. You know, they set up a rigging company, and so people hire them to do rigging, you know, like to move a plant, to relocate something big, and then they use the trucking company to do it. And so the rigging company pays the trucking company, but the owner is the same. You know, weird. So I stopped passing clients to them because they don't need them. Like they have no trucks available. Like I have more available trucks than them. But yeah, I was saying that to put things into perspective, that's about, I forgot, 80 grand Canadian. The Jeep, this thing, and the flip box. Was it 50, 70, like 75,000? So basically it's a price of a very expensive like SUV over here, you know, like you can, like one of those Cadillac SUVs, you know, or very fancy pickup truck with all bells and whistles. Or you can buy a house in Erie, Pennsylvania for $40,000 US. So yeah, this stuff is expensive. Anyway, wanted to mention, so I'm pulling, this is the guy's trailer, the consignee. He loaded this stuff again, it's coming from Tennessee, and they loaded everything on his trailer. I'm gonna show it to you when I stop. And it drives very nicely because it has a stinger in the back. Like it's a Aspen trailer, like custom paver version of an Aspen trailer, because it has like a sloped deck in the back there, so he can load lots of stuff on it. And what I have is again, it's one of those preheaters, but this one is much bigger. It has its own, I think it has another pot in there that's hooked up here. And so I met the American driver in Port Huron. So I gave him the empty trailer that I brought from Canada, where I did that load number 2, which you saw unloading in Ajax, delivery of that, what was it, PH300 preheater. And so I pulled that empty trailer back across the border, met with the guy, gave him his empty trailer, and he gave me this one, because he still cannot go to Canada even though he wanted to, because then he could make more money, right? And we had no issues. He dropped the trailer, I picked it up. We did it at the big plaza over there at the hotel where he was staying. Like, I was in this fancy hotel at the river, and he was staying at the Days Inn on Pine Grove, like a cheaper hotel, but lots of parking nearby there. But they, in that plaza, they don't allow overnight parking, so the hotel made him park in the back. And I found the rig, and it's so big, you know. I said, gee, how did you get in here? Did you back in the spot? Because he was in a very tight spot. And he said, no, I turned around, you know. And I'm thinking, how do you turn around with such a long trailer? And then I started driving, and this reminded me that time when I had when did I have a trailer with the stinger as well? Remember? I forgot. Somebody, not my trailer. I was doing another power only, right? And so this thing has a stinger, and it steers in the back, and it's so nice, like much easier than when I'm pulling my 4-axle trailer. All right, so this is 402, and we are approaching 401, and 402 ends at 401, and then I'm taking 401 east to Milton, Ontario, where I'm so sick and tired of crossing Toronto with these 3 loads. It's very stressful, you know. And so this time I'm gonna take 407, the toll highway, because this trailer is in good shape, everything is good. He had a couple of flat tires, and yesterday they were asking me if I know anybody there to fix tires. I said, yeah, just use, you know, trackdown.com. And I think that helped them. They found somebody and checked all the tire pressures, so we're good. And I'm just driving real slow, you know, trying to conserve fuel. So 91 kilometers an hour, that's 56 mph. Oh, and one more thing, I finally replaced the last 2 clamps on the air-to-air with these new fancy ones with the big springs. And I do notice the difference, you know. The truck pulls better. I think those old clamps, they were all leaking because the spring is so, you know, tiny. It was not holding, I think, because I kept hearing all this, you know, like air leak especially when you drop the window and you're driving somewhere where there's walls, like in a tunnel, you can hear, you know, like brand new truck. Well, almost. So now I have 133,000 kilometers. 133,361. That's all I did. So now it's August, almost September, and I got the truck in where? In February, like last week of February 2018. And the other guy was looking at my truck, the American driver, and he says, "Oh, I like this truck." He was asking me all kinds of questions, but I said the only thing is it's not good for anything over 200,000, like gross weight, because the radiator is too small. That's what Kenworth told to a guy in Oklahoma I know who wanted to buy this truck for his like 12-13 axle setup, and they said no, you gotta go with a T800 wide hood. So probably that's gonna be my next truck and my last truck before I retire. Get some T800 wide hood with the same Cummins, same front axle, but the 20K, but the pusher I would make 4 wheels, and try to get a steerable, because now they have this 2 tires on each side and it steers. And maybe get a 5th wheel a bit lower, because right now I'm a bit too tall with this 24/5 tires. I would go with 22/5s, because if I hook up to a regular trailer like a dry van, you see like the guy drives there, Mill Creek on the other side, if I hook up to that one, the top of the trailer is at 1310, and I have to get permits like in US, you know, not good. It 402 is, as they say in Germany, zu Ende, finished, and this is 401, which connects the western part of Ontario at Windsor or Detroit, Michigan, and goes all the way to Quebec line in the east, about 600 miles, maybe a bit less. And there's a Flying J here. Next exit, Highbury Avenue, big Flying J Pilot with Danny's. But I'm still okay on fuel. I have a quarter.